So Dylan, last time you were in class, what did you put on that?
Oil.
Okay, you did put some oil. Remember what the type of oil was called?
Boiled linseed.
It was boiled linseed oil. Sometimes we call that BLO, boiled linseed oil. And when you put that boiled linseed oil on, did it look really sharp? Did it add like a lot of depth to it? Yeah. You know what I like about the oils, the boiled linseed oil? Is a lot of times it adds some depth where you can almost like see into the wood. It's almost like you can look kind of down in there, like you're looking through some crystal clear water. But if we take a look at that project today, is it kind of like blah? Yeah, it's not really shiny or no real depth to it anymore, right? So the oil kind of worked its way in. It doesn't have that sheen to it anymore. So what we're going to do today is we're going to put some polyurethane on it. And that polyurethane is going to do two things. It's going to bring back some of that sheen, that shine. All right, it's going to actually bring a lot back because we're happening to use some high gloss polyurethane or full gloss polyurethane. It is a homemade blend of polyurethane. When I say it's homemade, what we do is we cut it. 50% mineral spirits, 50% polyurethane, and we're just going to apply it with a cut-up t-shirt. Polyurethane's kind of sticky, so we'll definitely use some gloves. So I'm just going to put a pair of gloves on real quick. And I seen you blew this project off a little bit ago with the air compressor, so we're just going to double check it. Make sure it's kind of wiped off. Looks pretty clean. The other thing that the polyurethane is going to do is it's going to add a layer of protection. By definition, polyurethane is a liquid plastic. It's going to harden up pretty nice. And we will buff that out at the end with some paste wax. It'll look good, feel good. We're probably going to put 3 coats on this project here. This project, yes, it is useful, but it's kind of more for decoration. Set on the counter. Maybe if you went to a winery or something like that and you happen to like that winery, you could buy a bottle of wine. Not you guys, but your parents, obviously. Sometimes if you go on like a wine tasting trip, you buy, they give you a wine glass and then you try a couple things of wine. So maybe if your parents went someplace and they really liked that winery, they'd have 2 glasses and they'd have that bottle of wine that they really liked from there, and they could put it there, maybe save it for a special occasion, anniversary. Maybe they say, hey, you know what? I just want it to look nice sitting on the counter. Nothing wrong with that either. So Dylan, when we polyurethane this, do you remember which side we actually start polyurethaning?
The bottom.
It is the bottom. And do you know why we start polyurethaning on the bottom?
It's so you say the bottom.
So you're going to do your bottom side first so that you can set it like this at the end, right? That way if there's any blemishes, it's on the side that we really don't see, correct? So with the polyurethane, guys, I'm going to tell you that less is more. I'm going to tell you, don't be afraid to walk away. I'm going to tell you, don't be afraid if you didn't get it all to just stop. Don't go and put more on, okay? This particular project right here, he's going to put polyurethane on it for a minute or 2, right? And it's not going to look the greatest today, but over a couple of coats, it sure will, all right? When we put the polyurethane on, like I said, we're just going to use a little t-shirt here. I see you have your gloves on already. Go ahead and grab that. And we have the polyurethane over here. Remember, it's cut 50% with a thinner. I think we happen to use paint thinner or mineral spirits for this one. You could use lacquer thinner or whatever you want. We are not going to dump this on the project. We are going to, hold the rag on the top of this, put a little bit on, and we'll go ahead and we'll wipe it on. We are going to polyurethane the whole project. And if you get it all, great. If you don't get it all, that's fine too. Don't go for instant results with this, okay? Put a nice light coat on. That way when we set it down, we don't have to worry about any real thick spots or it getting stuck or it having, some drying lines through it. We're just going to go nice and light. So I'm going to turn it upside down for you. You got your glasses on, all right. Yep, use 2 hands. Yep, there you go. And it's okay. Remember, especially since this is a new rag, it's not saturated. He's going to take a few times of putting polyurethane on to really get it there. All right. Well, that's pretty good. Go ahead and put some on. It's not going to last too long because the rag's going to soak up a lot of it. You can go ahead and put more on, actually, buddy. Good. Well, that's pretty good. And we are going to get in, yep, there you go, inside all the nooks and crannies. And you will get the outside and You know, he'll go around the whole routes and all that. And remember that today it's not going to look the greatest. Today it's just going to have a little bit of shine to it, and that's plenty fine. The next time we come in, what we will do is we'll steel wool it real lightly to make sure we get off any little debris that's dried in there. He'll put another nice light coat of poly on, and coat after coat after coat, all of a sudden that bad boy is going to have quite a bit of shine to her. Right? Go ahead and yep. So you got a wet spot right there. Go ahead and get that in. And if you want, I mean, yours is, you don't have a lot on there. You could put a little bit more on that rag if you want. Remember, if the rag's all the way saturated, it's not going to take a lot because the rag's going to already have it on it. Should he double, triple, quadruple check for runs though at the very end? Oh yeah. All right. Remember, if a run dries in there later on, he's going to have to go ahead and sand it out. Sometimes what I do is I'll pick it up and kind of look at it in the light a little bit. And pick it up, take a sneak peek at her there, Dylan. See anything that you might have missed or whatever? Or no real runs or nothing? Well, that looks pretty good then. I mean, that's a good first light coat. I'd say you did it pretty good. Less is more. What we're going to do is we'll make this video, we'll probably cut it into like two or three videos cut into one video. So today was the first video where we did the initial. Next time we come in, we'll do another light coat. Next time we come in, we'll do another light coat, and should be in pretty good shape. Was it pretty easy to do? Do you think it's pretty easy to mess this step up? You know why you guys mess this step up? You put on too much, and what are you going for with the too much? Instant results. You want it to look good for the first time. You can't. It takes time. It's like painting the wall at home. You're going to get a majority of it on the first coat, but you're not going to get it all. All right, you got to do 2 coats. That's really all there is to it. That looks fantastic. Next time we cut into the video, I think we're going to be doing a little bit of prep work for the second coat and be in great shape. All right, so Dylan, you put your first coat of poly on last time you were in, right? You only have 1 coat on at this point. Okay. So we're going to kind of take a look at it. Is it shiny at this point? Just not really, just maybe a smidge, right? And that's because we have a very light coat of poly on it, which is good. I don't see any runs or anything like that. And your project does feel pretty darn good. If you were to feel it, can you feel that little bit of like a texture to it? Like a little bit like gritty or sandy type feeling? Yours, it's got a smidgen of it, really not much at all, but what we're going to do in between coats of poly. So a coat of poly goes on, let's call it yesterday. We come in today, here's what it looks like. Okay, we're now ready for another coat of polyurethane. And what we need to do in between coats of polyurethane is steel wool. And the reason why we do that is, number 1, it takes off that gritty feeling. And number 2, it puts in little scratches that we can't see, but the polyurethane adheres to it. You know what I mean? Kind of like goes in and grabs. So when you steel wool this here today, I like to keep my hands pretty flat when I steel wool. And you don't need nothing fancy. Go back and forth, right? Your outside edge like this. Oh, hot dog. Sucker almost got away. Slippery little sucker. You guys know what movie that's from? Pretty Woman. All right. Inside. So this feels mighty fine. Go ahead and feel that. I'll try not to drop none. Feels pretty good, right? So the next thing that we're going to do, all right, is we'll double check it, make sure it doesn't have any, excuse me, steel on it. And it looks pretty good. If it did, we could go ahead and blow it off. And now we're ready to put on a coat of polyurethane. So you're going to go ahead and put your gloves on. And we have the rag already over here. Now, what's the one thing that we're going to remember when we put the polyurethane on? Light. We are going to go light, right? Remember that it doesn't really look that shiny right now, right? But he still has, at a minimum, 2 more coats to go. And Dylan, if you wanted to, could you go 6, 7, 8, 10 coats if you wanted to? Sure. And you're one of the first ones done, so you can just kind of keep putting them on and maybe just have a little extra on, all right? And it'll keep adding shine and shine and shine. So let's go ahead and put a real quick coat on it while we're videotaping here. That way we didn't too crazy long. And as he's going and getting ready to do this, this will be the second part of the video. I'm going to edit this into the first, and I'm not going to do this for the subsequent, the subsequent coats, because next time he comes in, he's going to repeat the same process that we did today. And the next time he comes in, he's going to repeat the same process up until he's got enough coats on it that he likes it. And at the final stage, all right, the final day, what he'll do is he'll put some paste wax on it, and then he'll go ahead and he'll buff that out, and his project will be done. He can take it home and use it for some decoration or give it away as a gift, maybe for Mother's Day, he can give it to somebody, you know, like a mom or grandma or sister, and whatever he wants to do with it. It's his project, so it's whatever. He is going to remember that after he puts his polyurethane on here, he's going to give it a once over, maybe look at it in the light, make sure that there's no runs or heavy wet spots, and then he's going to set it down. Now once he sets it down, he doesn't want to come back and check it, all right, a little bit later. It is what it is. If we got a little bit of a run or miss a spot, we're just going to leave it until the following day, right? Anything that might be wrong with it, we're going to fix at a later date. So give it a once over here real quick. I mean, the top looks pretty good. Do you want to put a little bit more on it? Okay. I can see he's got a little wet spot right here that he's probably gonna rub in towards the end. That's all he's gonna do. He's just gonna go over this thing. He's gonna give it a once over, double check it, and he'll be in great shape. Remember, it's like rinse and repeat. We're gonna do this every single day here for the next couple of days until he gets to his final number. So I'm gonna cut it here. Nice job.